What's up, y'all? It is January 2nd, 2019, and I hope you all had a great New Year's. I had a good one. It was fucking amazing. I had way too much fun. I'm not even going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that. But today, I want to talk about Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown makes me appreciate wide receivers such as Amari Cooper even more. Let me tell you why. Listen, when it comes to talent, Antonio Brown is top 5 at the wide receiver position in NFL history. I think he's up there with Jerry Rice, T.O., Randy Moss, Larry Fitzgerald. I think he's up there. I honestly believe so. Chris Carter, I think Antonio Brown is arguably top 5 at the wide receiver position in NFL history. That's how great I think he is. But with that amount of talent, he kills his talent with his diva antics. He doesn't have it all the way up here. He doesn't have any leadership capabilities. He's a man-child. That's exactly what Antonio Brown is. When things don't go his way, he throws a bitch fit. Even in a win, if he doesn't get his stats, he throws a bitch fit. Listen, Amari Cooper is not as talented as Antonio Brown, but Amari Cooper is talented. Amari Cooper, I would rather have Amari Cooper than Antonio Brown. Let me tell you why. Even though Antonio Brown is much more talented, Amari Cooper is willing to take a back seat, and he's not going to put unwarranted pressure on his quarterback or his franchise. He won't do it. Antonio Brown is a locker room cancer. He weighs down on his quarterback. He weighs down on the franchise. He can hold a franchise back. The Pittsburgh Steelers need to get rid of him. Addition by subtraction. I guarantee you if Antonio Brown wasn't on the team, they would be in the playoffs this year. You heard me correct. Addition by subtraction. If Antonio Brown wasn't on the Pittsburgh Steelers this year, they would be in the playoffs. You heard it. They would be in the playoffs. Juju Smith-Schuster has proven that he is a legit number one threat in this league. And that is why Antonio Brown is going over the edge. No one wants to talk about it, but that's the reason why he's going over the edge. Juju Smith-Schuster, a second-year player, leads the team with receptions and yards, with the great Antonio Brown playing alongside of him. That is weighing on Antonio Brown's psyche. That's killing him. Antonio Brown will take 10 catches and 200 yards over a W. Do you think I'm lying? Antonio Brown, he has shown over the years that he's not competent, he's not a leader, he just doesn't have it when it comes up here. When you put on Facebook Live in the Pittsburgh locker room, what? When you throw a fucking football at the man who is in charge of, you play the most dependent position in the NFL, arguably in sports, and you throw a football at your quarterback who is in charge of getting you the football, then you don't come to work because you want to bitch and moan. Bruh, Amari Cooper, he works hard. He comes to work. He does whatever the coaches ask him to do. And when he's not the focal point of the offense, he does everything else that he's supposed to block, become a decoy. He does what he needs to do. He doesn't bitch about not getting the football. Even in a win, Antonio Brown will be like, listen, I only got 4 catches for like 50 yards. This is bullshit. I ain't having it. I'm going to raise hell. Even with a W. I'm telling you guys, Mike Tomlin, he's not strong enough to contain personalities. Because, like, when you look at Big Ben is not perfect. Big Ben, you're the quarterback of one of the most prestigious franchises in NFL history. And you like to point the finger at people, deflecting blame from yourself. You got Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell is a talented running back, no doubt about it. He can do it all. But when you can't even rein him in, when he doesn't return your texts, he lacks that much respect for you. When he doesn't even return your texts, Coach Tomlin. And then, don't get me started on Antonio Brown. Even Ryan Clark. Now, I'm not sure if Ryan Clark has an axe to grind with Antonio Brown, but even Ryan Clark was like, yo, if you pay him, he's going to get out of control. You think he's bad now. You pay him, I'm telling you, it's going to be hell to pay. And look what's going on now. And the thing is, to be honest, if the Steelers cut him or trade him, they're going to be hit with a lot of dead money, like 20-something million with dead money. But to be honest, sometimes you just got to take the hit. You got to get him out of there. I guarantee you the Steelers would instantly become a better team with Antonio Brown out of there. Sometimes you just got to take the hit. Fuck it. We need him out of here because we need to be in the playoffs. How can you be that talented and be so small here mentally? I don't get it. I don't get it. Bruh, there is no need for you to act so fucking stupid and childish and immature. Antonio Brown reminds me of that kid in elementary school that raises hell in class because the teacher isn't paying enough attention to him. That's what he reminds me of. He's a 30-year-old man. That's fucking disgraceful. It just doesn't make sense. Like, what is really going on, man? You play the most dependent position in football and you want to act like this? Thank God for Amari Cooper, because I don't give a fuck. Amari Cooper isn't as talented as Antonio Brown, but Amari Cooper, he will do whatever you ask him to win the game. He will do whatever you need him to do. Antonio Brown, he doesn't get the football. He doesn't give a fuck. He only cares about himself. That's all he cares about. And teams like that, players like that, they can hold a team back from greatness. There is no excuse for the Steelers to be outside of the playoffs. They should not be on the outside looking in. They have way too much talent. But you know what? Looks like they have too much talent, and it's holding them back. You can ride with Juju Smith-Schuster. He won team MVP. You can ride with him. Get rid of Antonio Brown. He's only weighing you guys down. The Steelers are one of the few teams in the NFL whose Achilles heel is way too much talent. It's too much talent. That's their Achilles heel. Just too much. You got to cut some of these people off. In order for Juju Smith-Schuster to fully flourish, get rid of Antonio Brown. Get rid of him. Big Ben, in order to get the most out of him, because it's more cerebral for his position. For Big Ben, it's more cerebral. Not so much physical, but it's cerebral. It's all in the mind when it comes to the quarterback position. And if you could take away a stressor, because Big Ben, of course, he got on the radio and was like, oh, me and Antonio are fine, we're fine, this and that. No, they're not. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. You get rid of Antonio Brown, I guarantee you be doing Big Ben a huge favor. Get rid of him. He's not worth it. He's not. So that's my thoughts on the whole Antonio Brown situation. Thank God for Amari Cooper. Thank God for people like A.J. Green. Thank goodness for receivers like DeAndre Hopkins. Thank goodness for like Julio Jones. Receivers who are great, who have so much talent, but they're not diva-ish. They don't cry, they don't bitch, they don't moan when things don't go their way. Thank goodness for those receivers.